Top 10 feel-good facts about sex. T's presumably reasonable for state that the vast majority right now have much additional time on their hands. So much more individuals will get handsy. While there may be stresses over a lockdown time of increased birth rates in 9 months' time, it might be that sex is probably the most ideal approaches to manage our new day-to-day environments. 10 crazy sex facts from ancient times. Things being what they are, science, similar to a lot of human culture, has centered a considerable lot of time on sex. What it has indicated over and over is that sex, all in all, isn't simply fun, it is beneficial for us. Here are 10 reasons why sex might be the most ideal approach to occupy your time. 10. Sex is useful for the resistant framework. In an influenza pandemic, wouldn't it be acceptable if there was some simple method for boosting our resistant framework? One examination has discovered that sex does just that. Antibodies are our body's method for distinguishing outside specialists like germs and infections. One of these, immunoglobulin N, is found in our salivation and one mucus films and is an essential line of resistance against cold and influenza infections, just as different pathogens. In the individuals who have intercourse, it could help diminish the danger of explicitly transmitted diseases. To test this, volunteers were tested about their sexual history and their degrees of immunoglobulin A were estimated. The individuals who engaged in sexual relations once 7 days had just a somewhat raised level, however the individuals who had 2 times each week had levels 30% over the individuals who had no sex. 9. Masturbation is useful for the invulnerable framework. On the off chance that you end up secured alone, there is no compelling reason to worry. Notwithstanding, science has your back. It appears that masturbation can likewise effectively affect the invulnerable system. In one little investigation, male volunteers were approached to jerk off to finishing while their blood was drawn. Not maybe the perfect circumstance for a climax. In any case, the examination found that excitement and discharge both prompted increments in the all-out number of white platelets in the blood. White platelets are key factors in how the safe framework reacts to pathogens. 8. Sex is useful for your heart, in ladies. A huge investigation of individuals in later life has demonstrated that a sexual relationship can have great well-being impacts in more seasoned women. The study indicated that an enormous extent of more established individuals report having a wonderful sexual relationship with their accomplice. However, typically men report having more sex than did the ladies partaking. Sadly for these men and the bragging their ability, the investigation reasoned that the individuals who engage in sexual relations once every week were bound to have an issue with their heart than the individuals who had no sex by any stretch of the imagination. Having intercourse 2 times every month appeared to be best for more seasoned men. 7. Orgasms square torment. After an accidental finding uncovered that guinea pigs experiencing vaginal incitement felt less torment, it was concluded that comparative research ought to be attempted with human women. Women were welcomed into a lab and advised to self-joy themselves physically. While this was going on, a machine compacted the fingers of the other hand and the subjects needed to state how excruciating they were finding the experience. Invigorating the vagina prompted the guinea pig's agony threshold multiplying. Later work on ladies in labor found that the death of the infant's head into the vagina animated this procedure of diminishing agony as well. 6. Science says 21 is the enchantment number in men. It is an inquiry that every single high school young men pose to themselves sooner or later: am I jerking off something over the top? The real response to this inquiry is most likely not, except if you are getting sore. A great many people develop into a sound connection with their body. At the point when you're feeling explicitly baffled, it is ideal to realize that help is consistently to hand, as it were, but science has likewise thought of a response for how frequently a man ought to stroke off in a month to have top prostate well-being. More than 18 years, 32,000 men were interrogated concerning their sexual propensities. It found, as different investigations had, that visit masturbation could diminish the danger of prostate disease. 5. Reduces pressure. The endorphins discharged by sex that initiate narcotic receptors not just lessen torment, they additionally tweak our reactions to stretch. At the point when we engage in sexual relations, then there is an undeniable decrease in the pressure we feel. Since stress can be brought about by changes in our ways of life, stress over occasions, and imprisonment, there may be a few people needing pressure alleviation right now, but endorphins are by all account not the only hormones created when we engage in sexual relations. Sex discharges oxytocin, which has been arranged by some as the adoration hormone. The sentiments of connectedness after sex might be on the grounds that oxytocin has been found to raise the degrees of sympathy we feel for others. 4. It makes for a decent night's rest. Stress and uneasiness are normal results of living through uncommon occasions. These sentiments anyway can leave us hurling and turning in our beds, and not positively. A peaceful night of rest would improve every one of us feel. Perhaps the most ideal approaches to accomplish this might be sex. 3. Masturbation encourages you concentrate. Specialists who telecommute have constantly known about an issue that the vast majority are just barely finding out about. Procrastination, lingering by blaming masturbation so as to put off accomplishing work, can appear to be an enormous exercise in futility, anyway agreeable it is. Since a lot more individuals are working at home, always are finding that they need to take a couple of more breaks from their computer, procrastination however could really be only the thing you have to get your mind into gear. While doing mental activities and procedures for actuating your psyche may make certain territories of the cerebrum light up, a climax flashes action all through your most significant organ. PET outputs show neuronal action in each region after peak. 2. It helps your relationship. Research shows that the individuals who meet up explicitly regularly remain together. Sex for some individuals is a crucial piece of their relationship with an accomplice. The more sex that accomplices have, the almost certain they are to be upbeat together. This is because of the synthetic surge that goes with climax that we come to connect with our accomplices, yet there are enthusiastic advantages past organic chemistry. There is a bizarre circle where fondness prompts more prominent sexual want and more noteworthy sexual want prompts more friendship. This is one motivation behind why sex specialists may propose booking sex for battling couples to launch their relationship. 1. It fulfills you. Sex has numerous physiologically beneficial outcomes, yet maybe the most significant is to mental inspiration. One investigation of school-age understudies needed to perceive what easygoing sex was doing to their emotional well-being. Rather than finding many negative outcomes, they found that any type of penetrative sex gave understudies a lift regarding sentiments of prosperity and confidence. Relatively few individuals, it appears, were feeling disgrace in the wake of doing the stroll of shame. Other inquire about has endeavored to measure the constructive outcome of sex on us. At the point when they looked at the joy of individuals engaging in sexual relations at any rate once every week and contrasted it with those having intercourse not exactly once every month, the thing that matters was frightening. Those having less sex were less upbeat. At the point when you look at the satisfaction of those creation $25,000 every year and those creation $75,000, the distinction in bliss was not exactly observed when contrasting high and low sex gatherings. A little sex is as useful for your bliss as a $50,000 raise.